Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of the Huddle, a Steelers podcast with your host, Gage and Ron. How you doing, guys?
Couldn't be better, pal. How you doing?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. We got football back. Woo! We got to watch a game, and the Steelers won. All right, all right. Hey, look, win is a win is a win. So I celebrate the little victories, right? Okay. Okay.
Yeah, no. So we have a couple of highlights. We definitely a couple of highlights, a few low lights, but it wasn't a bad performance, especially for a preseason game.
Highlights. Oh, we actually have some to talk about. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, we
Highlights.
didn't just run the ball for 4 quarters.
And just kick the field goal, you know? In fact, I don't even think Boswell was dressed for that game.
Nah.
No.
Why would he be?
He wasn't. I know he wasn't. Anyway, thank you all for hopping on and joining us. If you like what we do, please hit the like and subscribe. This is a Pittsburgh Steelers centric podcast. That's why we call it the Huddle. And this is your host, Gage Ryan, is going to be kicking things off here with us. Thank you very much, Gage, for joining us. I'm your other co-host, Ron Mott, and we're going to be talking all things Pittsburgh Steelers. That's right. And how about that, folks? We had Pittsburgh Steelers played against the Jacksonville Jaguars. They won the game 31-25. And Gage, my man, you called it on the last show where you said it was going to be the Skylar Thompson show. And boy, howdy. I think it was such a show that it doesn't matter when Will Howard comes back if he does. That's my hot take right there. I think we may have seen the likes of Will Howard either being on the IR or somehow trying to be waived and then brought onto the practice squad or something.
I feel bad for him because all it takes is that one little, there was like a fractured hand or something, and now he gets no preseason. Nobody gets any footage of him. He doesn't take a single snap, and it's his future. Like I heard someone say that his career is over before it even starts, and that might be true, might not be true. But I was looking forward to Will Howard, and I think that there is a part of Omar and Mike that they at least want to see something out of him. So I don't know if they're. I've seen people think that he's going to get cut. I don't think he's going to get cut necessarily, but I want to see something out of him, whether that's like even some garbage time points. If, Lord forbid, we never seem to win a game by more than 2 or 3 points nowadays. But if we ever get to the point where we can have some garbage time in a game,
he would have to actually be dressed. Yeah. He would have to actually be dressed.
Good point.
So if he's not even dressed, though, it doesn't really matter, garbage. But here's the thing, though, and you're right. I do feel bad for him because he was one of the few brighter spots in camp. Yeah. Will Howard, you know what I mean? He actually was one of the few bright spots in camp, and I was very much looking forward to seeing him play. And now we're not going to see him at all. And I've been seeing some scenarios of what potentially could happen with him. And like I said, they could potentially put him on IR. If they put him on IR right now, his season is done and he has no chance to come back this season. But he stays on the roster.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Or they don't put him on IR. He does get healthy, right? And then they have to waive him because they're not going to carry 4 quarterbacks. They're not going to carry 4 quarterbacks, so they'll have to waive.
They seldom carry 3, or at least dress.
They're going to have to waive him, which means they're cutting him. Well, not really. I mean, waiving a player is not necessarily cutting them. Waiving them means, hey, we're going to put him out here and hopefully nobody takes him because we really want him. So hopefully nobody takes him, but they're going to have to do something like that. They're going to have to waive him. And then if he clears waivers, then they can bring him back and then they can put him on the practice squad. But those are the 2 scenarios really that's going to work out for Will Howard. And it really stinks because I was really looking forward to seeing him.
I don't think he was quite He was definitely not worth a 6th-round pick. A lot of people had him in that 4 or 5 range. Some people were even on the lower 3rd-round pick area of him. I've heard people compare him to like Mason Rudolph or in some kind of like higher tier backup quality. And I mean, the thing about Skylar Thompson and the reason why some people like want him as backup quarterback, he looked good. He looked good, but at the same time, we've seen what Skylar looks like at the NFL level, and it's it's Skylar Thompson. I would at least prefer, because honestly, the drop off from Skylar Thompson to a rookie that just kind of flames out isn't that much, to be honest with you. I'd much rather take the gamble on keeping Will on the roster than risk losing him and keeping a known commodity, if you will, with Skylar.
Okay. All right. So you're going the other way. So the other way would be they drop Skylar or trade him or waive him or whatever. Excuse me. Sorry. And do that route and then just keep Will on the roster and then let him be, let him go out through his injury and then come back from the injury and try to come back and be on the practice squad and whatever. That is another option that they could do. But now, see, here's my thing. And this is what really kind of scares me. Because if you delete one of those two quarterbacks, whether it's Will Howard or Skylar Thompson, either one, no matter what, you drop one of them quarterbacks and the old man suddenly can't play anymore.
Yeah.
Now, what are you going to do? Right? So you almost have to carry these 4 quarterbacks or some semblance of that somehow, some way, because God forbid Aaron Rodgers gets hurt.
At the very least 3. At the very least 3, because we saw what happened with Ben. Like whenever we had Ben, Mason, and Duck, but with Ben going down in what, game 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah, 3.
Okay, he's
like
gone.
That, yeah.
He's out.
Yep.
Permanently for that year. So now you're left with your 2 backups. And now if one of those backups get hurt, just like Mason did, like the very next game against the Ravens, and all of a sudden, we're left with a world champion duck collar in at quarterback. It's weird how these things end up. Like very seldom is there 0 chance that a player will take the field,
And there's almost an absolute guarantee. Well, not really a guarantee, but a player that is past the age of 35, okay, that's playing in the NFL, every time they step out onto the field, their percentage of getting hurt exponentially gets higher. Okay, because they're not as fast anymore now. They're not as, whatever, right? And that's just human nature. It has nothing to do
in any
with
sport.
You're prepared or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just human nature. Okay. Time catches everybody. I don't care how fast you think you can run, time is going to catch you.
That's why the only people that beat Father Time are the ones that retired before he could get to them. Your Calvin Johnsons, your George St. Pierre's, those kind of guys who got out, probably
Barry
a little
Sanders.
bit before they should have. But hey,
Right.
the Barry Sanders, Calvin, the whole crew.
Yeah.
Back then, who wanted to play on the Lions? I wouldn't have wanted to.
Right. And
I'm going to put up 2,000 yards just for us to miss the playoffs. To hell with that. What is that? That's garbage.
I'm with you. And it was really bad. I think how that whole thing went down and how it all ended with him. And that's why he walked away. And that was a real shame, because you had one of the greatest talents of all time and you just stepped all over him,
Yeah.
And I almost kind of feel the same way about Walter Payton.
Yes. Yep.
You mean you let some, you let some homeboy, which by the way, Mike Dick is, guess where he's from? Take a guess. Pennsylvania.
It's Pittsburgh, isn't it?
Yeah. Close around him, but he's from Pennsylvania, buddy. How you doing? Right. So you let some guy come in there and give this gimmick the touchdown? Really? Really?
I love that people are still mad about that all these years later, that he didn't get his touchdown in the Super Bowl.
But all he wanted was to play in the Super Bowl and contribute and win the Super Bowl, right? and you had a golden opportunity to do something for your guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, the fact that he traded every single player away for Ricky Williams.
The Ricky Williams trade. Oh my God. The fact that that did not just completely destroy Ditka's legacy in and of itself is a miracle.
I mean, okay. Sometimes it's better to walk away when you should instead of hanging around when you shouldn't. But
And
hey,
do you ever notice that with a lot of these receiver talents, a lot of the real greatest of all time, Terrell Owens, well, Randy Moss, I won't put in that category because he retired right about when he should have. But Terrell Owens, Chad Ocho, Antonio Brown, a lot of these guys that are some of the greatest of all time, they run out of teams before they run out of talent. And I just always found that fascinating.
well, when you're a cancer in the locker room, I don't really care how much talent you have. If you can't
Yeah.
gel with your teammates, it doesn't do me any good.
Yeah.
Right? Because if all you're doing is hogging the spotlight and causing issues and taking away from what we're trying to do, then you're a distraction and you're not helping the team. And I don't need that.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye. So, hey, let's talk a little Steelers. What do you think?
Hey,
uh,
listen. I mean, it was a good performance. It's a preseason game. I
well,
don't put a ton of stock into preseason games, but it could have because I mean, hey,
it was a win.
the
I
Kenny
don't know if
Pickett
I would
crew did
say
pretty well.
I say it was a win, but let me say this: the run game was almost non-existent. I was very underwhelmed at what we saw from Caleb and the offensive line. Now I get
Mhm.
it; it wasn't the starters, but you're at an NFL level trying to make an NFL team, and I would think you would try to be doing your best. But the run game
I
was
agree
utterly
with you.
non-existent.
I agree with you in spirit, right? I also think that context. No, no, but really, like I think that also the context is important here. You know that no running back is going to be putting 1,000% into their runs. It's preseason. Running backs are a dime a dozen. Well,
I
not
get it.
Caleb necessarily, but
I
just
get it. But
it's preseason.
I get it, but like I saw him running lights out in training camp and practice without
Good point.
pads on. So I needed to see at least a little something from you. Yeah, I mean, he
Mm-hmm.
didn't play the whole game, but uh, okay. I mean, the electric meatball was standing on the sideline. Jalen Warren was not dressed for that game. So, okay. I mean, but
And thank God.
oh, man. Anyway, I was not as impressed with the lines that I was hoping that I would be. The defensive line was not very good, and the offensive line was not very good. Like we said,
Mm.
it's preseason. We don't put a lot of stock in it, but I'm
From
I'm
what
trying
we've
to
seen,
right from what we've seen. I'm not impressed. Okay, in
that's
fact, I'm a
fair.
little worried because you're rotating guys in and out against Jacksonville, who isn't even a bubble team. Right? I don't think they're going to go
Yeah.
anywhere this year, honestly.
No.
Right?
Mm-mm.
And you let them put up 25 points on you.
I can tell you with certainty, and I'm sure everybody could tell you this is by no means a hot take, is that if the lines fall apart, this team falls apart. And
That's
credit
not
to
a hot
Andy and
take. That's just
Omar.
straight truth.
And that's usually the case with most teams anyway, but there are teams that are talented enough to get by that. The Steelers with Super Bowl 43 had a terrible O line, but they got around it.
I
It
agree.
is what it is sometimes,
Yeah.
but when you have a geriatric, 47-year-old Scientologist at quarterback that believes in natural remedies rather than, healing injuries properly, we are one
42, I think he
injury
is.
away
Okay.
from going back to the Mason and Duck years, is all I'm saying.
Okay. Point taken. Point taken. Um, okay. The Steelers are going to be playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this second preseason game that's going to be coming up here this weekend. And do you think we're going to see any starters at all?
minimally. I won't say zero, like zero snaps altogether, but this is something that they've been doing in recent years. Mike Tomlin's kind of had a history, or more early on in his career, of kind of running people into the ground and the team being exhausted by playoff time.
Really?
Whereas I think that, yeah, really right. That Jaguars game was just a mess, man. Really, how did nobody see David Garrard sneaking it on the 4th and 1? How did no one see that coming? No one on the defense saw it coming. No coaches saw it coming. No one thought that Garrard was going to run that. That's insane. But
how do you get totally out-coached in the preseason?
How do you get out-coached in the preseason?
How do you? Anyway, okay. Look, all I'm saying is this: I'm very optimistic, but man, it's going to be a long year. Suddenly now 18 games doesn't sound all that exciting anymore, does it?
No. Oh.
I'm sorry.
It's rough, man. And we know we're going to be 9-8. We know that we're going to get to 9-8, and that's about the extent of where we'll be. Is about 9-8. I saw someone. Do you know those graphics that they put up every year that shows every team's projected worst record versus their projected best record?
Oh yeah,
and always say like 5-12, and then like 11-6. The Steelers, what do you think it was? 9-8, 9-8.
Yeah,
that's about where it is.
And that about sums it up right there, folks. I gotta tell you, that about sums it up. I hope, excuse me, I hope we see some of the starters for this Tampa Bay game, if not for a series or two at least. I mean, I want to see you trot out there on the field with your helmet on, maybe, and take a snap or two, maybe. At least, I mean, usually what historically has happened is the second preseason game is usually the one where you see most of the starters play a significant amount of time compared to what they play the rest of the preseason games. And now that we're down to only 3 preseason games, and the last preseason game is usually anybody that's like, 3rd string and below. You know what I mean? Like the starters aren't even going to be showing up for the game, but they are. But I mean, by that game, I think you have to have your roster down to like 73 players or something. They're at 93 now or whatever. And then that week before the season starts, you got to be down to 53. Right. So I think they can carry, I think it's 73 or 63. I can't remember that final preseason game. They can carry that many still, right? Because they'll break camp before that and everything. So we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. Who do you think is someone that's on the hot seat necessarily?
You mean as far as like,
who's someone that needs to show something this preseason? Like, someone like you remember Big Dan McCullen McCollins? I can't remember his last name, but how he
Broderick
was always
Jones.
on the bubble.
Broderick Jones needs to show me something. Okay, I want to see something from him. I want to see something from Frazier. I want to see something from those guys. I want to see something from the guys on the defensive line. I want to see something from them. I want to see something from Herbig. I want to see something from Queen. Okay. I want to see something from Wilson. Either Wilson, I don't care. The one on the offense or the one on the defense, I don't care. I want to see that. Right. I'm really excited about what Neil or Leo is going to do. I'm sorry, Leo. He's been on. Yeah, he's been coming on. Really liking what he's doing. Yeah. And can we see somebody back there on other than Beanie Bishop? Can we see? Can we? Right? Can we get some other guys? Right? Okay. I just want to see some other guys.
Yeah, no, I'm with that. And this whole season boils down to trench warfare. That is it. That is all this season is for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If our O-line and D-line are better than the opposite, or than the opposing team, we'll probably win. And if not, we're going to get annihilated.
Hey, man, you can't argue that. You can't, right? And the schedule favors that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You look at the schedule, it pretty much favors the fact that, look, either you're going to be really good in the trenches and you're going to have a really good chance of winning, or you're just not.
And also, Mike Tomlin has given up on blitzing. I don't know what the heck his problem has been the last number of years, but we have been like 32nd in third down blitz percentage. It's like, that's a big reason why we've been giving up all these third and longs in recent years, because everybody knows that it's just going to be cover 2 on third down or cover 3 on third down. Like,
Help me out here, Gage.
We need more aggression. What?
Help me out here, Gage. We got TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith on either end. We've had Queen, Herbig, a plethora of guys in the middle pick. We've had Cam Hayward. We've had Hargrave. We've had a number of guys up front pick. Right? What do you mean we're not blitzing on third down?
I know, right?
Hello?
But I think that's the ironic thing, is that they say because we have all these excellent pass rushers that we don't need to blitz and we can generate all the pressure with 4, and that's just a bunch of baloney.
Oh, you don't need to blitz on third down. Oh, right. Okay. Well, let's take a look at your third down completion statistics there against. You're worst in the league. Okay. Any team that has third down and whatever is pretty much going to have a 78% chance of success against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, tell me, Mike, I guess you need to blitz a little bit.
We need cover 2 and cover 4 on it. Well, actually, we don't call cover 4. It's mainly cover 2.
Oh,
it's crazy. And they keep doing it, and we just keep like that was. Do you remember the Doug Peterson Jaguars game from like a year or two ago, and how when they went into that cover 2 shell and the Steelers just had zero answer for it the entire game,
and they just arced right up and down the field, whatever they wanted to do. And we're just sitting back on, yeah, nothing's going to get behind us. Like, what do you mean you're playing prevent defense already? It's not the fourth quarter. You're not winning. I don't get
it. Yeah, I said that wrong. How they went into that cover 2 shell, Jaguars figured it out immediately, and the Steelers just never pivoted at any point.
And they didn't get away from it. They didn't even get away from it. They kept doing it. Hey, man, but whatever. Okay. So hopefully we get to see some starters for a series or two, maybe in the Bucs game. Maybe. I mean, it's at home.
Yeah, at the very least with the lines. We need the lines to gel a little more than they've been.
Can we get a little bit of that? You know what I mean? Like I said, I want to see those guys. I really need to see those guys show me something this preseason. Because if we go into the regular season with the lines the way they are right now, right, and we still have no movement on the Cam Hayward.
Oh yeah, good old Bam Bam Cam. I got a little agitated with somebody on Facebook because they were posting it was one of those like Steeler fan group things that's all about. They were talking like Cam needs to like be quiet and be a leader and show up anyway, and we're like, dude, are you kidding? Especially like, I don't know what the actual issue with Cam's thing was. I think it's guaranteed money, if I'm not mistaken, but it's just one of those things where like you think that a place like the Steelers, you think that finally after all these years of penny pinching and realizing how much it bites people in the ass in this league, you would think they'd learn, but no, I guess not.
Well, they learned with TJ Watt because they paid him. And I remember correctly, they paid Cam Hayward already too. His agreed upon contract, he's already gotten 99% of it already so far this year. Right? So you've already been paid. Look, I understand why he's doing it. I just don't agree with the fact that he's doing it now.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? Yeah. I completely understand why he's doing it, because his expectations have increased every year that he said that his expectations were not. And they paid him like he was going to be playing low expectations. Okay.
The Mike Hilton approach.
Okay. So I get why he's doing it, but I'm questioning the timing. You should have done this a long time ago.
True. He should have done it a long time ago, but it does bother me because I feel like it almost feels like false pretenses a bit, doesn't it? It
Yeah.
feels like they were going to really like dive into the D line so that Cam wasn't going to have to do it. And they were like, hey, we're going to give you like one or two pieces, but Cam, you're okay with doing like a lot of the heavy lifting still, right? And he was probably like, for what you're paying me? No.
Right.
Like, you know,
yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But this is basically our last podcast, just talking about Cam's contract the whole time.
No, we don't know.
Yeah.
We're not
But
going
it
to do
just
that.
sucks. It sucks because he's just such a great player and a great human being, and he's so important to our team that if we go the whole year without him, I mean, we already don't have much of a chance, but without him, we definitely don't have a chance.
Yeah, if we're missing him, boy, that's oh yeah, no. Oh.
At least we paid TJ. At least we paid TJ. I got to cope a little bit. That's how it feels right now. I get it. Oh man, I was so sure that we were going to lose him. Like, this is it. It's the end. And
Right.
no, they didn't. So
No,
good.
actually, this is great, man. But I tell you what, we had a really awesome show again this time, Gage. I love doing this with you, man. This is so fun.
Ditto.
We love talking about our Steelers and Yin's out there. We really appreciate you guys listening to us and all that, and that's great. And we really appreciate that. And Gage, why don't you tell the folks where we can find you and where we can get all your other great stuff, man?
You can find my Yu-Gi-Oh content at Gage Ryan Video. You can find my MMA content at Contender MMA, all one word. And you can find all of our content, me, Steel, Frayne, everybody else, and everybody in between at 5-Star Matchup. It's going to be coming back here soon within the next couple of weeks. So I hope you guys are excited.
Yeah, man, we're excited about that too, man. We're ready to get back behind the mic there with the great 5-star matchup and do our radio show that we were doing there, and we're itching to get back to that. So we decided, hey, we're going to do this. It's called the Huddle, a Steelers podcast with Gage and Ron. So be looking for this on a regular basis. I'll be looking for some live shows. We're going to try to do some live shows with this as well too, and we're going to be probably running this through the Discord and all other happiness and all kinds of great stuff to come for sure. So stay tuned and be patient. We'll get to you. We'll get to you. All right, man. You can catch me on X at SteelFlyers52, and you can catch all the great stuff at SteelFlyers.com. Thank you all very much for watching The Huddle, a Steelers podcast. We'll check you out on the next one.